All right, I have a question about how to change this valve right here. Because sometimes the seal in the valve might go bad. It's kind of the same process if you have to ever change this valve. So part of what to recognize about the system, this is an air over oil system. It means that there's an oil level in here that's moving as the cylinder moves. So right now the cylinder is in the up position because the head is up. So that means all the oil is pushed over and has shoved the piston to the top. So your oil level here is probably about like that. And this oil level in this one is probably at the top because the piston's pushed all that oil back up here. Now, the importance of the oil is it gives that head movement, very, very smooth, stable movement. It's hydraulic oil. There's nothing special about the oil, but keeping it really clean, that's important. So the first thing I would do if I'm going to change this is I would drop the head down, because when you unhook the lines, the head's going to try and drop on its own, and if it's full of a bunch of oil, then it's going to squirt oil all over the place. So I would put the head down, then I would disconnect my air source so there's no more pressure on the cylinders up here, and then I'd get a very clean bucket because I want to preserve my oil and not have to replace it if I can keep it clean. And then I'm going to loosen this fitting, and this fitting. And then the oil is going to start dribbling out. And as I take these lines off more, then you'll get a fairly consistent flow and you'll get all the rest of the oil out. And then you can take this loose and take this assembly, this little assembly, you'll take the whole thing off. Then it's very easy to unscrew the valve and screw the new valve on, tape everything good, and get the valve orientation so it will work like this, so the valve handle can move freely. And then you can bolt it back up in place. The flare fittings, these type fittings right here, these are flare fittings. They do not require the Teflon tape. The pipe fittings, like these here, those require Teflon tape. So don't Teflon tape a flare fitting, because what you'll do is you'll end up getting pieces of Teflon tape that will go in and get into your valves and cause problems. And when you tape the other fittings, you never should have the tape hanging over the end, so when you screw it in, it cuts off a piece of the tape, because again, that will cause problems inside the system. So you put it back up in here, you start snugging these fittings back up, get everything positioned properly, and then tighten these up. Now when you tighten these, you need to put a wrench on this side and this side, tighten them together, or you'll start turning this assembly by cranking on the fitting. So you want to use two wrenches. Don't over tighten them. You can over tighten these fittings. You want to tighten them up and then replace your oil into this cylinder here. You'll take the fitting off the top and then put a funnel, and again, keep it very clean and fill your oil back up in there. If you think you lost any oil, I have another video on how to check the oil level. You can consult that. And then when you get it all back together, the oil, and you hook your fittings up, then you put pressure on the system and you run your head up and down. It will take a little while to get the air out because you want air bubbles in there. The air bubbles will cause the erratic movement of the ram. So you run it up and down a few times, and then you'll see the air come out of it, and then it will start running really smoothly again. And then you can look and see if you get any tiny little drips here, you can just tighten the fitting up a little bit more. And that's pretty much all there is to it.